I'm going to do a little how-to video for you today. This is one of my belts, and this customer has a pretty small waist size, 29-inch waist, and on my belts they have approximately 10 inches of adjustment. So for this customer's belt with a 29-inch waist, it could adjust out to 39 inches to handle additional layers, waders, cold weather gear, and stuff like that. This customer doesn't want that much adjustment, and it's a real valid reason too, because this is the tag end of this customer's belt, and they want this tag end shortened so that accessories that are on the belt have more freedom to move around the belt without contacting and being impeded by a long tag end on the belt. This customer's weight does not fluctuate much throughout the year. They are pretty much a 29 to 30 inch waist, and that's been the case for a while, so they're not concerned about needing that extra room, expansion room on the belt. And they have measured themselves with their waders on and the jacket that they would typically wear for fall fishing, and they've determined that 5 inches of adjustment on the belt is what they will require in order to shorten the tag end but still have the adjustability on the belt. So what I am going to do is I'm going to show you how to shorten the tag end on your belt. So here is their belt, and I have my tape measure on the inside of the belt. So you can see that currently the customer has right around 29 inches of space in this belt at its smallest setting. And by its smallest setting, I mean that the adjustable or the buckle end of the belt is pretty much butted right up against the fixed stop point on the belt. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's adjusted fully out to 39 inches, the way that it would normally be delivered. So I've covered this in other video on my belt, but in order to adjust my belt, the length of it, it's a little keeper tab here, elastic. Slide that out of the way to free up the adjustable end. Loosen up the adjustable Velcro. Bring this over. Let's undo the belt here. And let's make this out to the full 39-inch adjusted way. Let's get that one keeper back there. And let's get this keeper over here. Show you that measurement. So at the full 39-inch adjustment of this belt, you can see that there's a little protrusion of the adjustable portion of the belt outside of this keeper strap. This keeper strap is important because it maintains the rigidity of the belt when it's on your body. And let me see if I can explain that to you here. So I'm going to switch this camera around and let's show you how the purpose in my design of that keeper strap. Okay, so with that tag end going through the keeper strap here, when I flex this belt side to side, you can see how the buckle is acting as one fixed point to keep the belt rigid, and this keeper strap is adding as another fixed point to keep the belt rigid. Now, when the belt is cut, at a minimum, you want this to just protrude through the keeper strap at its widest setting. So for this customer who wants their belt to be able to adjust out to 35 inches, I'm going to adjust the belt and determine where to cut so that this end of the keeper, or this end of the adjustable portion, is just outside of this keeper strap. And let me show you the purpose of the keeper strap now and why it's important. So let's take this belt, open it up, and let's remove the belt tag end from the keeper strap. And that way, if I flex the belt, right now it's not in there. It's no longer in the keeper strap. So if I flex this belt with that not in there, you lose all of the rigidity on the belt. That's why it's important to maintain the adjustable part of the belt passing through the keeper strap so that it keeps the belt rigid. So now let me show you how to calculate out where to cut the belt in order to get it to your widest adjustment point that you would need for cold weather conditions where you're going to be in layers. So in order to adjust this belt down to the 35-inch measurement that the customer is going to require for their cold weather gear, right now we've got it at the 39-inch measurement, and I'm just going to kind of adjust this and figure out how much I need to take this down in order to get it so that the belt measures out at 35 inches for this customer's weight. So I took a little bit off of, cinched down the belt a little bit there, and I'm just going to put my tape measure inside the belt and see when I get around 35 inches. And it looks like I've just about hit that perfectly. So there's the 35-inch measurement, and it's right at the end there, so I can see that this is my 35-inch measurement that I need to have for the inside circumference of this belt. And with that, let's see if I can get that. We can see that there is, I don't know, probably about 5 or 6 inches of tag end of the belt that's sticking out beyond this keeper loop here. So let me grab a marking pencil and let's get this marked so we know where to make the cut. Okay, so we need this tag end to extend. I'd like it, if you're going to do this, I'd like that tag end to extend about 1 inch past the keeper. So let's just make a mark there so we know that is where we're going to want to cut the belt. This belt is raw. I have not trimmed it originally. It would normally be trimmed to follow those lines, and I'm doing this so I can show you how to do this on your belt yourself. So let me grab my little template that I use to help draw out my lines. One moment. I created this little template that I use when I cut my belts so that there's some consistency there. So let's open up this belt. We've got it marked already where I want to have that cut. So I've got my mark there, and that's where I want that cut to be. So let's just mark that, and I can see that that's going right over there. So now I can take and transfer that to the outside here. So for this belt right now, I'm going to be taking off approximately almost 5.5 inches of material that'll be removed from the tag end of this belt for this customer. So that is where the cut is going to be made. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my sewing machine. You don't necessarily have to do this. It's best if you can do it with a hand awl or something. At least, I would at least want you to stitch this area closed. I'd want you to put some stitching along there because my belts are 2 layers of webbing plus a layer of Velcro in this location. I'd really like you to maintain a mechanical closure there with stitching. So I'm going to run over to my sewing machine and let's get that sewn up, and I will be right back. Okay, I added some stitching to this belt to capture the webbing together, and you don't have to do as much as I did at home. At least I would want you to get a bar across there to hold the ends together. So now let's go over to my webbing cutter and I'll show you how I do this part to shorten the belt. Okay, I have a hood here, so I'm going to turn this hood on so that I can exhaust the fumes out. If you're doing this at home, do it outside. It's pretty stinky. I have a webbing cutter that I use every day in the shop. You don't need something like this necessarily. You could even do something like heating up an old knife or something with a blowtorch. You just need a hot edge to do this. We're first going to cut off the bulk of the end there. Then we're going to cut these corners off to follow that line. There's one. So now we've got it cut, and then what I do is I shape it a little bit. So I come across here, this smooths down, hope you can hear me okay, this smooths down the edges so that it doesn't snag the Velcro that's on the inside of my belt, this Velcro here. Don't let that melted stuff from the belt drip on you. It's freaking hot. Let's get this all rounded off. Nice and clean. Okay, that looks pretty good. That gives us a rounded end. This rounded end helps to go through the keeper loop that I was talking about earlier. And it's pretty smooth as well, so there's not a lot of edges that are going to little, shrapnel that's going to snag on that. the Velcro on the inside of the belt. So let's go back over to my CNC table, and I'll show you the final result here. All right, so we just got done over at the cutting area. So now we'll insert this tag end through the keeper loop there. Get that in. Make our adjustment. This customer has their belt now fully housed within that keeper loop, so we maintain the rigidity of the belt when I'm twisting it. And let me get over to the table here and make a measurement and see how close the final is. And there we go. Let's see if you can get that here. So the inside measurement for the customer is right around 35 inches, right here. And then when I adjust this down for the customer to their smallest setting, undo the belt, move this down, bring the strap back over, and there they have their 29-inch adjustment there, which is the smallest point, because we're back to the end of the belt is by the fixed stop point there. So they have an adjustment range on this belt of around 29 inches to 35 inches. And they have a much shorter tag end on the belt here to minimize the accessories that they want to slide around the belt from running into that tag end of the belt. And I have some customers that will just fish summertime, stuff like that, and they're not using this for multiple layers and stuff. They might just cut their belt so that it is, always with just the minimal amount of tag end sticking out of there. I've done this for people. They're like, I want either a warm weather belt and a cold weather belt. As you probably know about my belts from previous videos, so this is at 39 inches, or 29 inches right now when it's set. So when this customer takes their belt off, all they need to do is pop the buckle, remove the belt from their body, and when they put it back on the next time, it is already adjusted to their waist. They don't need to monkey around with the Velcro part of it. It's already adjusted. So that's kind of the beauty of my belt design there, is that if you're not changing your layers dramatically or the seasons, whatever, you can just keep the belt, take it off, and you don't need to readjust it. It's colder out, you need a little more adjustment on the belt. Adjust that over, feed a little through, and you've got a little more room on the belt there. So I hope this is helpful to see how you can minimize this tag end. I think a lot of people would like to do this. They don't need the full 10 inches of adjustment. I give you that adjustment so that it's there. But if you don't need it, you can trim your belt by kind of using what I did as a little template and guideline. So I hope this was helpful. Thanks a lot and have a great day.